Sound has begun. Oh, you the other one.
Welcome to the Louisa Project 2027, where we discuss education, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Today on our show, we're going to discuss how low-income adults access education, higher education. We're also going to discuss general business statistics, and wedged in there, we're gonna have a chunk of a great interview I did with my best friend Kingsley Hayford in the Netherlands last week. It's a great interview. I had a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm really happy the way that came out. As far as the conversation is concerned, the lighting could have been better, but we were just sitting in my man's living room, just shooting the shit, as they say. All right. So without further ado, let's get started on how low-income adults access affordable education. This is an article from Advocate. All right. That's the edadvocate.org. The article was written by Anika Oakes, A-N-I-C-A, Anika. If I said your name wrong, I'm sorry. Basically, in this article, she discusses, she writes about how adults who have more or less been pushed out of education, whether for mostly for financial reasons, access no schools close by, even though most kids are told that if you work hard and you do what you're supposed to do, you get access to a college education here in the United States. And as we all know, this is show number 6. We all know it's not always that easy, right? So we're going to make sure that we understand at least the 3 ways that Anika is talking about here, and Ms. Oakes is talking about here, to assure we discuss them. And for those of you entrepreneurs out there who, as we talk about solving problems, we have some sort of reference of how higher education is affordable education is accessed. That way, we'll have a better idea how to create some solution for the myriad problems for folks. Let me read one section of the article that really struck home with me. Unfortunately, in high school, teens are told no matter where they come from, they can go to college. Unfortunately, low-income adolescents don't have the opportunity to even apply for university, since they may not have the money for application fee, funds for textbooks, or enough money to cover residual tuition not covered by FAFSA. That's really important. I mean, Pell Grants and stuff, they're not going to cover everything. And if you don't have any money to start off with, even with Pell Grants, even with all the other help, you may or may not be able to handle it. I mean, this one kind of struck me. It never occurred to me that people don't have the money for application, don't even have the money for application fees. That's sad, scary, and horrible all at the same time. All right, I want to go into the 3 areas that she talked about here about how people access education. The first one is free classes online. Sites like edX and Coursera, they offer free college courses from places like MIT. MIT is a big one, and they give people an opportunity to take a look at these classes, and sometimes they can get college credit for a small fee, right, around $100, and that's great. But some folks, if you don't have the money for the fees for your admission fees, application fees. If you don't have the application fees, the money for application fees, $100 is also probably really out of the question for each course that you take. But it's a great way to become more informed. You can't really sneeze at that. And it's a great way to get started, little to no cost. You just if we discussed a little bit in previous shows the digital divide, where not everyone has internet access, not everyone has a tablet or iPad or computer or laptop to access this information. But you go to your local library, if it's still functioning, hop on the train or the bus, or find a way to get to your local library, and they'll help you get to these courses. Remember, Coursera and edX are 2 of the main companies the 2 of the main organizations that do that. All right. Let's talk about the second piece here. Find a vocational school, right? A lot of schools. There's a lot of vocational schools out there will give you a degree or a certificate in a particular field, whether it's maybe cosmetology, becoming a beautician, barber, HVAC, a mechanic. There's a lot of schools out there that give you qualifications. DeVry Institute used to do that when they were, back when I was a young man. I discussed that before. DeVry Institute, they taught people how to be mechanics. There are all kind of technical fields that they touched on. Not just now they're a university and they have their own business school and graduate school, and they've gotten all fancy. But that's what DeVry used to do, right? So these technical fields that you only need 1-2 years to get a certificate and you move on, and a lot of times these are very lucrative careers. Being a barber, there's a lot of money to be made in barber. And just look at, you get, let's say you're a barber, you do some hair cutting out of your home, a pair of clippers, a decent chair, and some chemicals to treat the clippers. You're in business. On a little bit on the side, but you're making a little extra money, and you decide your own schedule, and you can work around a regular job. If you work in the post office, make a little extra money cutting hair, that can make ends meet. That can make a big difference. And some guys can make really good money cutting hair. The guys that are really good, the guys that are really creative, they make a lot of money cutting hair. So these are things to think about. So you go to one of these technical colleges, like the Newgate School in Minneapolis, as it says here in the story, where the local community donated cars and old cars and vehicles for people to work on to help people get their degree and get their certification, their certification to move on and have a more become more marketable, have more marketable skills in the economy. So it's a great thing, especially when a community like that can help. So some of these careers are high paying, so give those a thought. The vocational schools in your area, and sometimes the vocational schools also overlap with the technical schools or community colleges, right? Or within the community, the 2-year college within community college system. Like here in Huntsville, Alabama, there's Drake State, which is a community, which is a 2-year school where you can get a degree in different technical fields. So that's something to think about. Let's talk about the third one, scholarship. The scholarship and work study programs, right? So low income students are right off college before they even fully explore their options, right? So you do some research and you can find some scholarships out there. It takes time. It really takes time. Sometimes you're lucky, you may know somebody who understands all the ins and outs of getting getting financing for college. You may know a local organization like the Elks or the Masons, or a local government, local military organizations that offer you an opportunity to get a scholarship sometimes it's based on race, sometimes it's based on your family, sometimes it's based on your income, but sometimes it's based on your grades or a combination of those things. So do your research, talk to people in your community, make some phone calls. There are books out there about scholarships. Do your research and see what you can find. Okay, work study programs. Sometimes you'll get a job and they'll help you work through your education, right? So you work that regular job and they'll help pay for an education. So sometimes your job has those opportunities, but they're not telling everybody about it because they only have so much money, or for whatever reason. So maybe you need to inquire at your job and see if some of these programs are available. And sometimes your local college or local community college may have a work study program where you work in a particular field and learn more about the field. I know a lot of countries still do apprenticeships. I think we need to get back to that, especially for technical fields. Get that apprenticeship under your belt. And check off the blocks and have a little extra job experience when you get started out there in the world. All right. So that's it for that article. Just give me a shout if you have any questions. Again, I'm Mike Redwine. I want to go through a quick commercial that needs to change. It's commercial for the last 5 weeks, but the actual lineup for the Benjamin Dixon Network has actually changed. I'm going to get that changed in the next couple of weeks. It's been kind of hectic. So just give me a shout if you have any questions, and we'll move on we'll talk about my interview with Kingsley Hayford. Thank you.
Hey, let's take a short break. If you enjoy smart, progressive commentary, go to the Benjamin Dixon Show channel Monday through Thursday. On Mondays, you have the Benjamin Dixon Show starting at 9 o'clock. On Tuesdays, you have The Way with Anoa starting at 8 and Ben again at 9. On Wednesdays, the Benjamin Dixon Show starts at 9 o'clock. On Thursdays at 8, it's the Scandinavian Perspective with Ms. Pedersen. Then Ben starts again at 9 o'clock. Please tune in to the Benjamin Dixon Show channel on YouTube and subscribe. Okay, let's get back to work.
Welcome to the Louisa Project 2027, where we discuss education, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Today we're going to see an interview that I did last week while I was in Europe. This is my personal favorite of the interviews I've done. I interviewed somebody who I love, respect, and really cherish their friendship. My best friend, Kingsley Hayford, and you're going to learn a lot about him in the next in the interview. But he is my absolute best friend, besides my lovely wife, obviously. He's always been there for me when times were really rough. He's a brilliant guy. He's got a lot to offer, and he literally changed the face of basketball in Europe, especially in the Netherlands. It's a great interview. Listen up and please enjoy. I had a blast, as you'll see in a few minutes. All right, thank you. Kingsley mentioned how well his team did. Now I'm going to tell you what we call Kingsley ball. Those who know Kingsley. Kingsley coaches a style of play. He can explain it better than me, but this is my understanding. He coaches a style of play that's sorry folks, balls to the wall, baseline to baseline, hustle basketball, heavily defensive minded. Now I'll let him explain for you basketball heads. We'll explain the stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, my philosophy of basketball is very simple. I mean, you have to work harder than the opponent works. You know, if your opponent is working harder than you are, I don't care how talented you are. You are setting up yourself for a disappointment. It boils down to hard work.
You hear that?
The saying that makes this very simple is that hard work beats talent, and talent doesn't work hard.
I got that. Yeah.
On the other hand, if talent works hard, you fuck.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Don't worry about it. I'll beat that. I'm not beating that.
That saying explains everything about basketball. Yeah, for me, that's all about basketball. And there's no part of basketball that demands hard work and defense.
Amen. Yeah.
You know, that defense. So basically, everything starts on defense. You want to generate energy in your style of play, start with defense. I don't think you can really generate energy from offense enough to win a game.
Okay.
You know, if you work hard on defense and you can frustrate the other team, it's not about your energy being higher than the other team's energy. It's about the other team's energy being lower than that. You can influence it.
No, you can take away from
it. Exactly.
Okay.
You know, you can rip a team's heart by frustrating them every time. You know, and as if you have 5 guys on the court doing that, you increase your chances of winning the game by tenfold. I think that's my point of view.
I'm a defense guy. That's
my point of view.
I'm with him. I'm 100% with him.
On the other hand, discipline is everything. You know, I don't care how hard you work if you don't have the discipline
to be where you're supposed to be,
make the right decisions based on what we talked about, what we have agreed to do. If you don't have that discipline to execute and you do things the way it's required of you, that team concepts goes out of the window. You know? So these two things, you can almost not separate them. Hard work, discipline.
Absolutely.
You know? So I think every coach should start, when you get a new team, I don't care what the situation is, you have to make this a simple understanding. And I use the word simple, it's not simple, but it's a simple understanding that you and your team have, that we work hard and we discipline.
Those are the keys.
I would say don't move on to anything else until these two things is an understanding, not for one practice, not for one game, but this is how we live.
That's it. The team's personality, the team's philosophy. Yes.
And that's where it starts for me.
Okay. All right. But now we're getting ready to transition. Did you want to say anything else about the youth? You work with the youth? Did you want to say anything else?
Well, I mean, basically, that's how for all I can add is that this model. I mean, when I built this one, this totally my idea. You know, I started going to the schools and getting these. I don't know I don't know about other parts of the country then, but that was what I did. You know, came the idea of the middle step after school program and the club program.
Yeah.
So this became a model that was adopted by the national government.
Yeah.
You know, as a program, they asked me to write, you know, a total report on it, and they took it and they approved it, and they really took. There are cities in Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and all those places. Yeah. They took over that program. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, really.
See, that's why we do interviews, so we learn stuff.
That was implemented with a lot of success.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, because there were a lot of social programs in all these cities that were stuck. You know, they really didn't know how to go about it.
They had some funding and they
didn't know how to do it.
Okay.
They didn't have a program that really connect one from one point A to point B to point C. You know, they knew where they wanted to go, but how to work this out to them. But when they saw how I worked this out, they really took up and they took it as a national program, and a lot of communities benefited from it.
I know it, my man.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I mean, because when I left Europe, I left Europe in 2000, going contracting, but I was in and out, but I didn't know it had gotten that big. Well, I didn't know that. I can say I played a role in that. I knew Kingsley went.
Yeah.
So,
and I told you about the political side of it.
Yeah.
I didn't get any credit for that.
Yeah, of course not.
My boy, I wrote down. That's how politics.
We know how that works.
when the program got there, because I don't they didn't say Kingsley's program. No,
well, we're setting the record straight here. Louisa Project 2027. We're setting the record straight.
Yeah.
All right. So, we'll have some contact information for Kingsley. If you're interested in a program like that, he can help consult on that. So just let us know. You know, you fly him in. He'll walk you guys through the steps if that's something you wanted to do. Take his plan out, change it back to English. But if you want some consulting help on that, please contact us. There'll be contact information underneath the video here in the comment section. Well, I hope you enjoyed that segment of the interview. It was a great interview. As you saw, we had a great time. There's a lot of great stuff on there. There'll be a link for the full video on our website, on our YouTube channel rather. So just take a look at that, and we're going to go on with the show. Thank you.
Hey, let's take a short break. If you enjoy smart, progressive commentary, go to the Benjamin Dixon Show channel Monday through Thursday. On Mondays, you have the Benjamin Dixon Show starting at 9 o'clock. On Tuesdays, you have The Way with Anoa starting at 8 and Ben again at 9. On Wednesdays, the Benjamin Dixon Show starts at 9 o'clock. On Thursdays at 8, it's the Scandinavian Perspective with Ms. Pedersen. Then Ben starts again at 9 o'clock. Please tune in to the Benjamin Dixon Show channel on YouTube and subscribe. Okay, let's get back to work.
Welcome back to the Louisa Project 2027. This is our third and final segment of the show. We're going to discuss from information from SBA.gov, which is your go-to source for business information if you're a startup. All kinds of great stuff there. Like I say every show, but always go check out SBA.gov. SBA.gov. Notice I don't have my pepper spray pen. I lost it. I'm heartbroken. So if you wants to send me a new pepper spray pen, I'm all for it. It's a purple highlighter today. If you watch the show, and I appreciate everybody that watches this show. The purple highlighter, and it's a purple highlighter that I use. I call it my pepper spray pen. Go back to watch a couple of other shows, and you see what I'm talking about. All right, we're going to discuss a few things from the SBA.gov. Consumer statistics. It's in SBA.gov under business statistics. Just take a look. There'll be links. There are links in there for each one of these sites I discuss. Some great ways to understand how your consumers act, how they access credit. I mean, there's a lot of things available. Without further ado, I'm just going to run down the list. Consumer credit data. Well, it discusses consumer credit, revolving and non-revolving credit. There's information there on how each one of those have grown or contracted over a specific time period. They discuss car loans and house loans, just to get a good idea with how people are dealing with credit within the economy. Just take a look. There's a lot of explanations in there. There's a lot of good information there. The second one is consumer fraud identity theft. It's a bad link to the Federal Trade Commission, but you just Google and you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Just Google Federal Trade Commission or FTC consumer fraud and identity theft. There's a lot of great information there about especially if you're checking out your competition, find out if anybody's gone after them, and find out they have an Achilles heel, and maybe some great information there for you. And some ways to avoid some missteps, okay, in your business, and so just take a look at that. Consumer product related statistics from the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Right now on the front page, if you go right now, today is the 5th of July. My man JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, the New York Giants, is on the cover talking about his incident with fireworks last year on the 4th of July, which nearly cost him his career and his entire hand. So he's talking about just consumer product safety. A great place to check out. Find out what products have been deemed safe. Child poisonings, things of that nature. So it's a great place to check out. So you can, you may want to find out, like for instance, if you need a particular paint for the product you're creating. So like for instance, what was my pepper spray pen, I wanted it to be pink, right? And I wanted to save money, so I'm going to get them done overseas, right? So, but maybe perhaps in China, yeah, Subi. Or maybe I want to do it here in America, but I want to find out, this particular color of pink, is there an issue with it? Does, if it's exposed to too high heat, is it going to produce a chemical that's going to make somebody sick? Should it be kept away from kids and pets? There's a lot of stuff that, that I'm spitballing here. So there's a lot of stuff that you can take into account, and I can think better if I have my pepper spray pen. But in any event, so you can check some things out there. That's SBA.gov again. And the fourth one is inflation and consumer statistics. And on there is an inflation calculator to help you project project your prices. That's very important. You don't want to have your pricing set up and you haven't considered inflation or the consumer price index or the producer price index, right? You don't have all your pricing set up thinking, okay, I got this down pat. And then you get hit with predictable inflation, a year down the line, 2 years down the line, but you're already locked in to this pricing with perhaps with a customer, and you're stuck. You got to provide that. Okay, you can always go back to them and ask for an adjustment, but that doesn't make you look good as a business. It shows you weren't prepared. So the information is freely available. So just take a look. So those are the four things I wanted to quickly discuss: consumer credit data, consumer fraud and identity theft. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Again, that's my man JPP's on the first link there. Inflation and consumer statistics. All the links are available to you on SBA.gov. Please check it out if you're just getting started. We need your ideas out here to help education become more accessible and more affordable to more people. All right. That's it. That's the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a shout if you have anything. We monitor the hashtag LP2027. I'm Mike_Redwine on Twitter. And also the hashtag Louisa Project 2027. So just check us out. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Months now has begun.